Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Conoric.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And today we're bringing something old, something blue, something Bobr, and something Rue. So Rang, who's going on this match right now?
Well, on the left-hand side, in the blue, we have ourselves URA Comrades, but he's playing a German faction of 14th Infantrie with balanced income. On the right-hand side, we have Xirucaire. Xirucaire, nonetheless, he's playing 3rd Armoured with a actual Maverick income.
An actual Maverick income is actually even more impressive than that. 3rd Armored, I'm super excited. We haven't seen these guys, actually, I think, yet. Maybe we had one with a couple of Hellcats.
One or two, maybe, but nothing. We haven't seen them all that often.
So now with the rapidity we saw when they first came out.
Yeah. Yep. Who knew having a bunch of jumbos and 76 Shermans and a bunch of them, just all really good American stuff would be that good, you know?
Well, here's the question: why Maverick income?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I mean, in 3rd Armoured, you can build them to be a lot of different decks, to be entirely honest, in terms of, phase you want to push. So he probably just has a bunch of Shermans to be phase that he's going to spam out once you get into that 10-minute mark.
I confess I'm looking to see if there's any sort of, aquatic vehicle that can start rushing across that the Bobr rivers. Because not often that we see that, but Schwimmwagens, for example, still can technically cross the river and make your life so much easier than trying to, futz and footpath it across the bridge.
Yeah.
Who's got the early advantage over here between 14th and 3rd?
Oof. On one hand, 3rd is like Shermans and mortar half tracks and all of that stuff. At the same time, URA has much more in terms of infantry, mainly STG infantry, and just more infantry in general compared to 3rd. And on a map like this, infantry is pretty important.
We are going to see the bit of the standard, let's call it the ball drop, as some infantry is trying to get across that river from the American side and secure the testicles that troop in from the left. Outside, otherwise, very, very aggressive German push to the north, which is not going to go well between rifles, the flamethrower, and the M8. That's going to get shut down pretty damn quickly. Yeah, I am not enjoying that at all. What do you read about along the center line? How do you feel about that?
I'm just looking at it real fast. Both sides is pretty much setting up decent deployment. URA sending some guys to the Ballsack region, where Zero not really going to be actually doing any crazy pushes here, which is usually where a lot of people try to push early on if you're on the right hand side, try to get across that bridge and into the forest.
A DP Grenadier who just has a new lease on life that for some reason the M8s decide not to engage. He's going to get close enough for Panzerfaust. This is going to be awful.
We'll just run up to him. What can go
gosh.
wrong? The Stormtroop and MP44 is getting in close as well. Those M8 Greyhounds are not in a good position.
No,
they're
but
getting grenades.
the Greyhounds at least did stop the P2s from rushing in, but
yeah.
Kind of a very strange decision there. On the plus side, there is a Sherman that's in the area, and the stabilizers will certainly cause him to have a field day, I would think. And I would say, maybe looking at the line overall, the Germans are really trying to put a lot of effort in the north. You just see a very defensive play with a couple of machine guns and placed along the center line with a couple of infantry squads in support.
Yeah, really not much. I mean, it does make sense to try to push heavy on one side, get across that bridgehead, and once you capture this northern area, it's pretty easy to hold. I mean, you got the high ground and everything.
That is indeed true. A couple more squads of armored rifles coming on in. Not anything really too stunning. Yeah, I would say that the major push is going to be across the northern side here.
Yep, we got just the Germans holding onto that forest. We get some AT guns in the air, some armor, getting that Stog leader or Stog hero unit, which I cannot pronounce, as well as a Luke's be brought in.
Which stroke leader?
Up north.
Oberluskamp.
Oberluskamp. There we go.
Actually, I don't think I've seen him in quite a long time. Interesting. More Shermans, M4A1s being brought on in, more M8s. You know, I want to bash the M8, but I just can't. It's too good of a recon vehicle in this game.
Yeah, it's fast, it's nimble, it's got 50 cal, it also has a bloody radio. It's pretty good, just don't get shot. You will not survive getting shot.
Can go from 0 to 60 kilometers per hour in 12.8 seconds, and I even like the color. But Stovepipe is going to go start launching rounds to the north. I'm kind of curious why he didn't do it a little bit sooner than now.
You definitely want to be saturating that northern forest, which is all the artillery that you can possibly muster. It's a pretty cramped area, so it's pretty easy to hit with artillery.
Yes, it is. Now, looking past this, I can't help but feel that Phase B, wow, super early jumbo to the south, can't help but feel that when we get to Phase B, we're just going to be awash in Shermans.
Yes, I think that's a pretty safe assumption you make. It's whether Shermans can really do anything or not, rather. As having all those Shermans is nice, but this is, like I said before, very infantry-focused map. And the infantry is going to be much more important than all of those Shermans. But at the same time, Xiru does have the M21 mortar half-tracks, which are the best mortar half-tracks in the game. So they should be dishing out some pretty hefty damage to try to make things up in terms of an infantry game.
That does seem possible, but right now, not a whole lot of success to speak of. Which is both surprising and not at the same time. But Oberluskamp, he is coming across that northern bridge, and there's going to be no one there to stop him. There's absolutely no way in hell anyone could stop him. At best, I think that they're going to have to swing around that bit of dangling shrubbery there from the south. Maybe they can curve him behind. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, there's Xiru, just using his Shermans actually pretty effectively. It's not running into anything at the moment that can actually penetrate him. So that's going pretty well for him, but...
Oh, give it time.
Give it time, give it time. I mean, he doesn't have much infantry support for these Shermans up north. All the infantry are hugged along the tree line in the far north. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you guys are longing for this road.
Yeah, meanwhile, the mortar half-tracks, again, this is the time to completely and totally shell that forest. There is now quite a number of, enemy material there. I would not want to be anyone to the north, at least on the American side. We are going to have engineers racing across this center bridge, which is not going to go well between Begleit Pioneers and the Stosstruppen. Not going to be a great idea.
Yeah. German on the other side is pretty much going to shut that down. But yeah, pretty much so far. I mean, URA has got the place up north under his control, so there's not really too much he has to do. It's a pretty easy place to hold. He's got a nice slow plus 1 point advantage, and he has a better income for attrition. He's definitely gonna be a bit more of an uphill battle once again to be faced for URA.
Wow, I had not realized all the extra fire support that was going to be happening here against the Stosstruppen and the Begleit Pioneers. But that's not to say the engineers are having the best of this engagement. They are still getting pounded quite a bit.
Yeah, being in an open field against Xirucaires, against Xirucaires is not ideal in the slightest. At the same time, the big leads did get pinned down by just all the American armored firepower. But at the same time, the Americans don't have any infantry to really continue this push now.
Well, they're trying to solve that as we speak. A couple of M2s rushing on in with engineers. Meanwhile, to the north, Oberluskamp was killed, and wow, a Zook goes and takes out another Stug. So now all that's left is some infantry.
Yeah. That's really all it is. Same time, it's pretty good infantry, and the American armored infantry isn't. I mean, actually, never mind. That's pretty good. They have a bunch of semi-automatics, and their semi-automatic rifles in SD2 are very top tier.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Not Sturmgewehr top tier. Sturmgewehr's are. I want to say they're SS rated, but.
How about just their S plus?
S plus, yes. Yes.
So let's go for the advanced wars
Classification and not a war crime, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. SMG's like A rated.
But there we go. Actually, looking at all the now vehicle firepower between mortars and the tanks and the M8s, there is one final potential brave squad here with a Grenadier squad under Hopf coming on in. He's probably going to get a Panzerfaust, which will mean a dead Sherman. 3, 2, 1. Any second now, my friend.
Come on.
There we go.
Lovely. Lovely. Nice, good, sneaky Panzerfaust kill. Yo, is he going to get out?
Yep. He will, but it's going to be kind of a scary proposition there. And Mortar Hatchet does get taken out by indirect fire, but actually, I got nothing.
Yeah, that's quite a big loss losing that Mortar half track. But yeah, it probably was like one of these run 05s as URA is getting out quite a bit of artillery of his own with those two 105mm.
Bringing a couple of new Stugs up to the north, a Stug F8 and then another Stug 3G. 1 to 5, like you said, shelling the north. He does have a defense in depth that's pretty decent. I'm actually surprised by how minimal the Allied advance really is in terms of just like raw numbers. I feel like they don't have a whole lot in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, as I say that, then they go and order up an entire company strength assault across the middle. So prepare to see a rather abortive attempt as these 3 Shermans and an M8 get themselves ready to move across, I would say, the South Central Bridge.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, geez, between the Stug that's right there, MG42 covering, Stahlstruppen, Grenadiers, first couple of guys across the line are going to get completely destroyed.
Yeah, not going to have a good time. And that's, all those armored rifles being brought in as well. I think that's definitely going to be an interesting push to see. I do appreciate the effort of just trying to just open up another flank. This is Bobr. It's a very hard map to really push on, just due to all the bridge choke points. You really just have to get a match at a huge force and just try to, stick everything across the bridge and hope it's not too far.
I'm going to avoid the obvious joke right there, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I like this. He's smoking off the Stug. Mm-hmm. He's ignoring the north, which is why his encirclement has now kind of become rather abortive. But hey, it's decent calls, decent attempt.
Yeah, that's definitely exactly what you should be doing. I always love seeing players using smoke, and that's exactly how you should be using smoke. So maybe a little bit too early, so I should warn you, like, hey, why is he smoking my stuck down south here? Something must be up. And something is indeed up. Or going down, really. As all these armoured rifles are pretty much hurrying through.
Well, now we have all 3 Shermans going to the front lines. We have this M8 who's going to sneak a peek over here on the riverbed. And he doesn't see a whole lot. And the Stug being completely blocked off. It's one of those things I kind of wish there was the opportunity. Oh, never mind. He's starting to see through now. And that bridge is going to be awful tight. But I'd be fascinated to be one of those things to kind of try to go and train somebody earlier on. Of being like, okay, yes, I am smoking all the time. That means, therefore, maybe something's happening, but probably not.
Mm-hmm. Now, the armoured rifles are pushing through. Nice thing about American 3rd Armored, it got all those M2 half-tracks, so the transport are bulletproof.
Nice thing about the 14th, cluster bombs.
And a J88 run, but doesn't get an eye on a target, so he's going to have to come back round again. That's definitely going to open him up. Fortunately, there's no AA nearby or enemy fighters, so he does have all the time in the road to realign his approach.
Yeah, but if I'm Xiru, I'm immediately being like, smash that button. We got to make sure we get some kind of something out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and URA bringing in a Tiger to try and moving up, but moving up this center. Yeah, I don't think that's really going to work, to be entirely honest.
That was a very underwhelming bit.
Yeah, he kind of aimed a little bit off here, and now he's opening up to a P-50 run, and the P-50 run does not mess around. Still an absolutely scary fighter, if it's pretty tight. Whoa, never mind. Just
one burst of fire.
J88 yeeted it out of the skies. That's a little bit embarrassing for the Mustang.
Yes, but you know what? We are now beginning to see a bit of a Napoleonic central position here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very good way to put it. We've got the Jumbo pushing along the southern bridge, and he doesn't care about being shot by an AG-18. He'll take it all day.
I think the only place I'd be concerned, from the American perspective at least, is you look to the north, you see a couple of the Strugs and 3 or 4 squads of support, and against them we have a single Sherman, and it's an M4 A3 upgun, but they're still against 2 Strugs, and all we have is a couple of squads of engineers. Not a high percentage of success.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. Just a little bit. We got some of these grenadiers moving through this northern area, just trying to clear things out a bit as URA takes hold of center Bobr position. But yeah, I honestly, Xiru's through the center is definitely playing off much better. He's capping a lot of flags under his control, and it gives you so many areas to maneuver. He can move up north, he can move down south, he can keep moving westward. So many options.
Let's see, what kind of plane's coming in right now? Okay, P-51. I like the optimism of that bar squad that's saying, I'm going to get deployed way the hell over there. Yeah, that's not going to happen, my friend, but I admire it. In the meantime, another flag has fallen under American control. There is nothing down south.
Oh no, yeah, URA really needs to get some more infantry to secure this central post. This is not looking around at all. Oh, those armored rifles, just the sheer amount of Shermans. We've got 2 bloody Jumbos here. 3 Jumbos down south. 3 goddamn Jumbos, Khan. Those are not fun to go up against at all. One of the most heavily armored tanks in the game. I don't think you get really Pack 43s with 14. Oh,
I think you get a couple Pack 40 75 mils, but I don't think you get the 88s.
I don't think you get them really. You got 75s, like you said, but the Pack 40s aren't really enough, even with the APCR. To be entirely honest, to deal with those fixed jumbos, really have to rely on using cluster bombers more than anything to knock them out.
And not for nothing, as swift as a cluster bomber might be able to be from the western edge of the map, I would not want to be the guy that's like, oh, you know what I have to do? I gotta make sure I can cluster bomb 2 American vehicles. Like, here comes one right now. He might pick up the Sherman, but who cares? There we go. JU-88's back through again, and another P-51. Fuel tank leaking. Wow, that was surprising.
Mm-hmm. Pretty even. Like trade, yeah. But the P-50 run is gonna come back round again because he didn't evac. And is he gonna get behind the JU?
Nope, but the flak feeling might get behind him.
Yes, he does. Not very good luck here for the American air power at all.
Hey, but right now it's still 15-9. He needs to hold on for 13 minutes, and as we speak, yes, URA Comrades is going to get a massive economy boost in Phase C, but he's got to make it there for right now.
Just the annoying thing about losing a central position is it's pretty hard to take back, because it is just rows and rows and rows of town blocks that you have to recapture, and it just takes even against a force that doesn't have a lot of infantry. In this case, Xirucaire does have quite a lot of infantry set up. It's a pain in the ass to just slowly but surely take back that center place one town block at a time. Yeah, Germans down south. I'd lose the jumbo down south here. I think he exposed his side armor to the Tiger and loses it, so very good kill from URA, but he really needs to get more infantry into the center position and start clearing the Americans out.
Yeah, which is not a high percentage option either.
No.
Continue to look around, see more grenadiers coming into the south. I see... Well, wish I could say I see, Panzer tanks 2 of them, Tigers tanks 2 of them, but there's just a ton of infantry in every direction instead. And we're beginning to see the charge of the M4A176s. We see 3 of them brought on the main line.
Oh boy, that's a lot of 76 mils.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's an interesting call, but honestly a pretty good call, just because of those Tiger tanks which are running around.
But meanwhile, to the north, what do we got going on? We see, well, the Americans are slowly trying to get some more ground here. The M4A176 is over here trying to engage the Xirucaire from long range. Incendiary is a shockingly good shot there, but it's really a question of who is slightly more accurate. And the answer to that question this time, anyway, is the M4A1.
I really like seeing the 76mm Sherman, because we really do not see them all that often anymore, due to, this game being mostly with Russian divisions. But it's still just a cool tank.
A very beefy tank. It's one of those things you're surprised by how sizable it actually is.
Yeah, Sherman is a big boy, and having that long 76 really adds to its profile.
That's a very polite way to put it.
And all it's got sandbag armor in the front and everything.
Well, we're getting a chance to see more of them. 2 more coming down to the south, some squads in support there. It continues to be 15-9 though, so the question is really, can URA turn this around? And if he can, how?
It's tough. If we look in terms of the mini-map, there's much more red on the map than there is blue stuff. And the red stuff is currently killing all the blue stuff as we speak. So, I feel like Ura's really lost his chance, to be entirely honest.
I will say, this is when URA should be pouring troops onto the front lines.
Does he need to do an URA charge?
Yes, he definitely does.
He just needs more infantry. It's really what he needs, just all over the place.
Well,
that's what he's doing.
He needs to read from, Comrade Stalin's infantry primer.
It's like Company of Heroes, you just press the URA ability and they charge in, right?
Exactly. Exactly. They yell URA, everyone charges, and 2 seconds later it gets suppressed by an MG42.
Good old infantry blob spams.
I was reading a recent answer in some sort of crowdsourced question. It was what's the most disgusting implications of playing a video game? And it was playing the Soviets and Company of Heroes 2, all you do is just spam cheap infantry. And it's duh. What were you expecting?
Yeah, it's cheap infantry, but of course, Company of Heroes 2, they're not that bad.
No, they're very good.
SMGs can be pretty scary. From the last time I played, I played years ago, so who the hell knows what the meta is now for KO2.
Well, I will tell you that Penals got buffed like crazy, and then people were like, wait a second, Penals are too good, and they just nerfed him like crazy.
That is the balance in life.
Yeah, you know, they were like, dude, we have totally paid off our debt to society, and then people were like, no, you haven't.
Yeah, another sacrifice for the motherland.
But looking at this as it stands right now, I mean, the Americans have lost some of their initial ground, and that stinks. That's just too damn bad. But were I a betting man, I'm looking at... Ooh, a cluster bomb coming on in. This could make or break, I think, the Americans across the central line here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you bomb something that... oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it was... Jeez, these cluster bombs have been a little bit pathetic. Damn, that really does suck.
Yes, it does.
That
But
really does suck.
it doesn't suck quite as much as the fact that if you look to the north, there is nothing German for quite a long while.
Yeah. It's... Yeah, like Zero just has so much more stuff on the field, and his stuff is working really well. The Sherman spam actually did pay off in the end of the day, and also just having all the engineers and armoured rifles. It's a simple strategy, but it pays off.
It pays off just about as well as killing a command Tiger right across the central line yet again.
Good kill.
And I think, honestly, as long as this Grenadier DP gets picked up, then this armor rifle, first of all, has a chance to continue taking territory. But it's asking an awful lot at the moment.
Yeah. Grenadier is holding. It's too bad that MG42 doesn't have a line of sight on the armed rifles. Definitely could help out in that engagement. We're finally seeing a bunch of infantry up north here. Those Pioneer SVTs have really good counters to the engineers and armoured rifles, but come a little bit too late, unfortunately. And honestly, why he could maybe something down south to help out.
Well, especially if a jumbo coming on in too.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys are... Oh, jeez. They rid of, what, 3 or 4 trucks all at once?
Yeah, they've got an M15 GMC being brought in to the central area for some anti-air support. Definitely a good call. Zero has been using quite a lot of air power, and he has been running those air power roars. It's just a shame he hasn't managed to get those vital hits with the cluster bombers to knock out Zero.
Yeah, that is true, but, actually, you know what? That's it. That's just true. You speak the true.
They speak the true... the truest of truths? Is it too true for you?
You speak the very true. But looking back to the north, 16-8 continues to be the case, and it seems like whenever URA Comrades sends in more troops, he basically is just donating them.
Yeah, he's kind of like up north, he's getting those looses in a little bit too close, I think. Just a little bit. Probably want to keep him back another 300 meters, preferably.
Well, if they end up going to heaven, that does kind of count, doesn't it? But we are going to see just a tap out over here from URA Comrades, which I understand. It's still, the KD is pretty close.
Yeah, you're actually getting a higher KD, even though he did lose the game, so... I mean, once again, another good example of KD. KD doesn't matter in Steel Division. It's about playing the bloody objective.
That is for damn sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, nothing too crazy on the American side in terms of kills. Like, even Knight, the engineer...
Even losses. Good. I mean, there's one Schwarz, he kills 2 M4A1s, he kills a 76 and an M8, but that's the biggest, scariest thing on the map.
Yeah. There's very spread out affair in terms of kills. Everyone got a little bit of a chip in, you know?
True, and that's what you want. Everyone to have a team victory, or a team defeat. To share the glory, to bask in the sorrow together.
Exactly. War's a team game, you know?
True, and the point is not to die for your country, but if the other bastard die for his.
Damn right. I saw that quote a lot when I died in Call of Duty a lot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about there. But alright, folks, we hope you have enjoyed this retrospective looking at the 3rd U.S. Armored in Steel Division 2 on the Eastern Front. Apparently, Lend-Lease does work. But for next time, I don't know who we're looking at. Ryan, do you remember?
Nope.
Well, that's good. Well, folks, in that case, then you better come back for some more. Until then, I'm Con Ulrich.
And I am Rangru. Take it easy.